It's often assumed that when a man has strong feelings for you, it should be easy to tell. However, the reality is different. The men who feel the deepest emotions often hide them the best. They might not express their feelings in the obvious ways we expect, like through compliments, flirtation, or grand gestures. Instead, their emotions reveal themselves in subtle, almost unnoticeable moments. Today, we'll explore 7 hidden signs that show when a man has strong feelings for you, even if he's doing his best to keep them under wraps. These signs aren't about what he says, but about what he can't help but show. It's in the way he moves, the tone of his voice, and the small changes in how he behaves when you're around. Once you learn to recognize these subtle cues, you'll no longer have to wonder if he truly cares. By the end, you'll know how to spot the hidden signs of his deepest feelings, even if he tries to hide them. We often believe men should be more open about their feelings, but many men keep their emotions hidden due to fear of vulnerability or uncertainty. These are the men whose actions and subtle behaviors give them away if you know how to read the signs. Sometimes a man's feelings for you don't show up in his words at all, but in the smallest, most genuine actions. His body language, the little things he does for you, or even his unspoken gestures can reveal his deep affection. Whether it's offering to help, checking in on you without any occasion, or just being present in your life, these actions often speak louder than words could. When a man cares deeply, he begins to remember the little things you mention, things others might forget. Whether it's your favorite coffee, a childhood memory, or a random detail about your day, his ability to recall these things shows just how much you matter to him. It's a way for him to stay connected to you without being overt about it. Jealousy in men isn't always loud or possessive. Sometimes it's subtle. He may not express his feelings directly, but you'll notice a shift when another person, especially another man, gets your attention. He might quietly position himself closer to you or seem distracted, not out of ownership, but because he fears losing your attention or affection. It's a natural sign of deeper emotional investment. When a man feels deeply for someone, especially in a romantic context, his protective instincts naturally emerge, often in subtle and quiet ways. These gestures may not be grand, but they can speak volumes about how much he values and cares for you. The idea of protection here doesn't necessarily imply any form of control or possessiveness. Instead, it reflects a genuine desire to make you feel safe, comfortable, and cared for in a way that is often instinctive. The first type of protective gesture we might notice is physical proximity. For example, if you're walking together and he instinctively walks on the side closest to the street, this is a small but meaningful action. It's an unconscious way of positioning himself as your protector, not because he thinks you can't protect yourself, but because he wants to make sure you feel cared for and safe. This might sound like a small thing, but it's actually a big deal when you think about it. His actions show that he's attuned to your well-being and that he feels responsible for your safety in that moment. Another common protective behavior is the act of offering his jacket when the weather turns chilly. Again, this may seem like an everyday act, but it speaks to his desire to make you comfortable. It's not necessarily about the jacket itself, but about the gesture, the fact that he notices your discomfort, and without you needing to ask, he's willing to give up something of his own to help you feel better. In relationships, especially early ones, these small signs of care can be a window into the deeper emotion a person is feeling. It's an unspoken way of saying, I want you to feel good, even if it means sacrificing a little for your comfort. Another way men subtly show protective tendencies is through their body language. If you're in a group of people and you begin to feel uncomfortable or out of place, a man who cares deeply might naturally position himself closer to you without being asked. This isn't an overbearing gesture, but rather a silent way of providing you with a sense of security. He's tuning into your energy and your needs without any words being spoken. In these moments, his protective nature isn't something that he forces or manipulates. It's more of a reaction to his feelings of affection and concern for your comfort. Similarly, in more intimate settings, if he notices that you're not feeling well or are facing some kind of stress, his first instinct might be to step in and offer help without making a big deal of it. For instance, he might check in on you regularly, offer assistance in solving a problem, or just sit quietly with you when you're feeling down. These acts of care don't necessarily scream, I love you, but they speak volumes about how deeply he feels for you. The fact that he takes the time to notice when you're struggling and wants to alleviate your burden shows that his emotions go beyond superficial attraction. It shows that he's emotionally invested in your happiness and well-being. When a man does these things, it's not about trying to control or dominate. In fact, it's the opposite. It's a form of respect and appreciation. He wants to make sure you feel at ease and protected, but he doesn't feel the need to assert authority or take over. These protective behaviors come from a place of love, concern, and affection. His desire to care for you comes naturally because he wants you to feel emotionally safe around him, to feel seen, and to feel valued. It's important to understand that these protective gestures are often unconscious. He might not even recognize that he's doing it. It's simply the way he shows that he's emotionally invested. This is particularly significant because it reveals something deep about his feelings. It's not a calculated move to impress you or to win your affection. It's an instinctive response to his emotions. The more deeply he cares, the more he will instinctively act to protect and care for you without thinking about it or needing validation for his actions. Furthermore, these protective gestures also show a deeper level of emotional intimacy. When a man shows this kind of care, it creates a sense of trust and mutual respect in the relationship. It lets you know that you can rely on him, that he wants to be a source of stability and support when you need it. In some ways, it builds the emotional foundation for a deeper connection. When a man offers his protection, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, he's demonstrating that he sees you as someone worth protecting and cherishing. What makes these moments so powerful is that they occur in the absence of pressure or expectation. There is no hidden agenda. He's not doing these things to earn something from you in return, nor does he expect anything in exchange. His actions come from a place of genuine care and love, which can be much more meaningful than any words he might say. These small but significant actions often communicate the depth of his feelings more clearly than any overt declaration could. In fact, they often reveal more about his true feelings than anything he could articulate because they are motivated by his subconscious emotions rather than by logic or social norms. So, when you notice these subtle signs of protection, a man offering you his jacket, making sure you're safe, paying attention to your emotional needs, recognize them for what they truly are, a reflection of deep, meaningful care. They are not just about physical protection, they are about emotional protection too. He is creating a safe space for you to be yourself, to feel supported, and to experience a sense of security within the relationship. These gestures may be small, but they are powerful indicators of his genuine feelings for you. In the end, these protective behaviors show that he cares not just for your safety, but for your happiness and emotional well-being. They are gestures that go beyond simple acts of kindness. They reveal the strength of his attachment to you. He is trying to make your life easier and more comfortable, which is a powerful way to show love, especially for a man who may not always be comfortable expressing his emotions verbally. Have you ever noticed a man starting to mirror your actions, gestures, or even the tone of your voice? This unconscious behavior is a clear sign of emotional connection. It's his subconscious way of bonding with you as his body naturally aligns with yours in small, subtle ways. It's a sign that he's emotionally in tune with you, even if he hasn't said it directly. When someone genuinely cares about you, their actions often speak louder than words. A man who has feelings for you, especially in the early stages of a relationship or friendship, will frequently find ways to spend time with you, even if it doesn't appear to be anything particularly special. These subtle efforts, while they may seem casual or even random, reveal his deeper interest and affection. He doesn't need to make a grand gesture to show he cares. Instead, it's the little, consistent things he does that prove his feelings. One of the simplest, yet most telling ways a man will show his interest is by seeking opportunities to be near you. It may start with something as unassuming as dropping by your place or showing up in places where you happen to be. He might show up uninvited, not because he wants to intrude, but because he simply wants to be in your presence. This could be as small as walking by your workplace or running into you at a cafe you both frequent. While it may feel like a coincidence, it's often his way of creating reasons to be around you without making it obvious. His actions don't scream, "I want to spend every moment with you," but they show a pattern of behavior that demonstrates that he values the time spent with you and is willing to make it happen, even without a specific reason. This desire to be around you can also show up in the form of frequent, casual communication. He might text you, call you, or message you more often than what would be considered necessary, not because he expects something in return, but because he genuinely enjoys connecting with you. These texts may not always be about deep topics or important conversations. Sometimes it's just a simple, "Hey, how's your day?" Or "What are you up to?" It may seem like nothing, but these small messages are a way for him to stay involved in your life. He's finding ways to keep the lines of communication open, even if the subject matter is light or insignificant. This consistency is key. It's not about the specific words he uses, but about the fact that he's thinking of you and wants to stay connected. In addition to text and calls, he might also reach out for seemingly trivial reasons. Maybe he'll ask if you want to grab a coffee or if you'd like some help with something you didn't ask for. It might be something small, like sharing an interesting article or meme or sending you a song that reminds him of you. These little acts are intentional, not just to fill time, but to remind you that you're on his mind. Even if he doesn't express it directly, these consistent check-ins are his way of showing you that you matter to him. Another way he might show his care is by making time for you, even when his schedule is packed. He might adjust his plans to fit you in or make sacrifices to be available for you, even if it seems like a minor thing. Perhaps he'll skip a workout to hang out with you or rearrange his evening plans to make sure he can spend some time with you, even if it's just a brief hangout. These seemingly casual changes in his routine are not random. They're choices that reflect his desire to prioritize spending time with you. It's not necessarily about planning elaborate dates or making big plans. Rather, it's about consistently finding ways to carve out time to be present in your life. It's also important to note that in many cases, a man who truly cares about you will make an effort to engage with your world, even without any clear motivation other than to be involved in what matters to you. He might take an interest in your hobbies, learn about your favorite activities, or show curiosity about your work or passions. For instance, if you're talking about something you're excited about, like a new book you're reading or a project you're working on, he might ask questions to learn more or show interest in what you're doing. This is another form of investing in you. By taking an active role in your world, he's demonstrating that your interests matter to him. He's not just focused on his own life. He wants to know about yours, even in the small, seemingly insignificant details. At times, these efforts may not come across as overly romantic or dramatic. He won't necessarily declare his feelings outright or constantly shower you with grand gestures. Instead, he'll show his care through simple, consistent actions that demonstrate his emotional investment. These actions may not always be big or extravagant, but they add up over time to show that he values your presence, that he enjoys your company, and that he wants to be a part of your life in whatever way he can. The beauty of these small, consistent efforts is that they show a man's genuine affection without putting pressure on you or making you feel overwhelmed. He's not demanding your attention or trying to make you feel obligated to reciprocate his feelings right away. Instead, he's creating small, intentional moments that let you know he's interested in you without needing anything in return. He's showing you that you're important to him simply by choosing to spend time with you and make you a part of his day-to-day life. These gestures also reveal a level of vulnerability on his part. While he may not always express his emotions explicitly, by showing up in your life, whether through spontaneous visits, frequent texts, or being present during your important moments, he's giving you a glimpse into his feelings. It's a way of saying, I care about you enough to invest my time and energy into being close to you, even if it's just in small ways. This type of effort can also create a sense of security in the relationship because it lets you know that he's committed to being there for you, no matter how casual or low key the interaction might seem. In the end, these efforts reflect a deep care and attention to the relationship. They aren't about grand gestures or performing for you. They're about consistently showing up in ways that matter to you, whether you recognize it or not. His actions may not always be loudly expressed, but they are an ongoing reflection of his feelings. He wants you to know that you're worth the effort, that he enjoys being with you, and that he's willing to put in the time to nurture the connection between you, no matter how small the effort might seem. And these are often the gestures that hold the most weight in building a genuine and meaningful relationship. A man can control his words and his actions, but his eyes, they tell the truth. If you've ever caught him looking at you when he thought you weren't watching, you know that look. It's a deep, emotional gaze that often betrays his guarded words. His eyes speak of affection, desire, and connection in a way that his lips often cannot. Even when he quickly looks away, that brief moment of eye contact reveals his true feelings. When a man develops deep feelings for someone, no matter how much he tries to suppress or conceal them, those emotions inevitably find subtle ways to surface. Human emotions are powerful forces. They can't be completely hidden because they naturally influence how a person thinks, speaks, and behaves. While some men are open and expressive about their feelings, many aren't. They might feel uncertain, afraid of vulnerability, or hesitant to show emotion because they associate it with weakness or rejection. But even when he doesn't voice his feelings, his actions and energy begin to change. You can sense it in the quiet moments, in the way he interacts with you, and in the little things he does without realizing their significance. The truth is, real affection doesn't always announce itself with dramatic declarations or obvious romantic gestures. Instead, it often hides in plain sight, woven into his everyday actions and reactions. When a man genuinely cares about you, his behavior shifts in subtle yet consistent ways. It could be the way he listens more attentively when you speak, how he remembers details you casually mentioned, or how he goes out of his way to make sure you're okay. These small moments, repeated over time, create a pattern that reveals far more than words ever could. One of the clearest signs that his feelings run deep is his consistency. Anyone can show affection once or twice, but a man who truly cares shows up for you repeatedly without being asked and without expecting anything in return. Maybe he checks in after a long day, remembers an important date, or supports you during a difficult moment. His consistency is his way of proving, often unconsciously, that you're not just someone passing through his life. You've become someone he genuinely values. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. Even when life gets busy, he finds a way to stay connected, to make you feel seen and cared for. You'll also notice a change in his attention. When a man has strong feelings, his focus naturally gravitates toward you. He listens differently, not just to respond, but to truly understand. He remembers the things you say, not because he's trying to impress you, but because they matter to him. Your words, your moods, even your silences begin to hold meaning for him. He might notice when something's off before you even say a word, or sense when you need support without you having to ask. That level of emotional awareness doesn't come from casual interest. It comes from genuine emotional involvement. Another subtle giveaway is his nervousness or vulnerability around you. A man who feels deeply but hasn't yet confessed it may find himself acting a little differently when you're near. He might stumble over his words, fidget, laugh more than usual, or seem momentarily unsure of himself. These reactions aren't signs of disinterest. They're evidence that he cares. You make him feel something real. And that emotional intensity can be hard to manage. It's his body's way of responding to emotions he's not ready to express verbally. You may also notice that his behavior toward you is different compared to how he acts around others. He might go out of his way to make you comfortable, subtly protect you, or prioritize your happiness in ways he doesn't with anyone else. Even when he tries to play it cool, his care slips through the cracks, through small gestures like holding the door, checking if you got home safely, or making sure you're included in a group conversation. These aren't just polite habits, they're personal touches that reveal his emotional investment. His eyes, too, often reveal what his mouth refuses to say. You might catch him looking at you when he thinks you're not paying attention. It's not a quick glance, it's a lingering, quiet gaze filled with curiosity, admiration, and warmth. That kind of look isn't about physical attraction alone, it's about emotional connection. His eyes soften when you smile, light up when you laugh, and sometimes even grow more intense when you talk about things that matter to you. No matter how composed he tries to appear, his eyes will always betray what's in his heart. Another key indicator lies in his effort. When a man's emotions deepen, his priorities subtly shift to include you. He begins to invest time and energy in you, even when it's inconvenient. He'll help you without hesitation, offer support when you least expect it, and show concern for your well-being in small, meaningful ways. These acts of care may seem simple on the surface, but they carry emotional weight. He's not doing it to gain something. He's doing it because your happiness has become important to him. Effort is one of the purest signs of emotional attachment. It shows that he's choosing to show up again and again. When a man feels deeply but hides it, you'll often notice small contradictions in his behavior. He might sometimes pull away, act distant, or seem unsure of what he wants. This confusion isn't a lack of care, it's the result of emotional conflict. He's trying to manage feelings that scare him because they're real. The stronger his emotions, the harder it can be for him to remain composed. He may retreat briefly, but inevitably, he finds his way back to you. That push and pull dynamic often reveals a man who's trying to protect his heart while also following it. Understanding these quiet signs allows you to see beyond what he says and into what he feels. It reminds you that love doesn't always shout. It often whispers. Real connection is built through the accumulation of small, consistent gestures that reflect care, attention, and emotional presence. These are the moments that reveal his true feelings, even when his words remain guarded. In the end, when a man truly cares for you, you won't need to guess forever. His emotions will show themselves through his actions, his tone, and the way he looks at you. His love won't always be loud, but it will be steady. It will be visible in the way he chooses you, not through big speeches, but through the quiet reliability of being there, through the respect he shows you, and through the small, meaningful acts that make your life just a little better. Even if he hasn't said it out loud, you'll feel it. His heart will reveal itself not through words, but through the undeniable truth of how he treats you.